Now, more than ever, teams must come together and work together to solve big challenges, and Trello is here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's Collaborative Suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format, plus tons of features that make working with your team functional and fun. With Trello, you can work with your team wherever you are, whether it's at home or in an office. Keep your workflow going from wherever you are with Trello. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Bender, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits, the funny hits, and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to a special Tiger King wrap-up episode of Dumb People Town. Population U. Okay. Wow.
So 4 and 5, a lot happened in 4 and 5.
Did it?
Yeah.
Kind of boring. So let's go punch a truck, Dan.
Let's dig into it. First of all, any initial reactions, any big takeaway? I mean, obviously, Travis is gone.
Other than the fact that a suicide was caught on camera?
I mean, I felt like he was going to kill himself purposefully. And then when he said he's always around here playing with guns, I was like, oh, he's going to kill himself accidentally.
Accidentally
kill someone else.
He did say that's the
on purpose.
Last cigarette I'm going to have before I die.
That's very true.
I mean, this is some deep stuff. And it's like everything Joe Exotic does is not as buttoned up as Doc Antle.
I know.
Doc Antle
we'll get into that.
Doc Antle buttons up his harem.
Yeah.
Doc Antle buttons up his people, and it's like Joe can't do any. Joe's like a worse version of Doc Antle, and Doc Antle is a terrible version of a person.
But Doc Antle isn't going to like an Indigo Girls concert and picking out like 11 lesbians going like, I'll fix you.
Okay.
I'll turn
Dads
you guys
are dropping
Yeah, but
them
Joe
off.
Exotic is doing that with drug-addicted young men.
That's
right.
what I'm saying. So because Doc Antle is saying, let me at least remove from the equation forcing someone's sexual preference out of this.
Yeah.
Let me take sexual orientation. Let me.
They're both terrible. Let's not throw anyone a pass here.
Okay.
No one gets a pass. I'm just saying Doc Antle, the reason why he's able to be more buttoned up as an operation is that he's removing sexual orientation from one of the things that he's forcing.
Let me ask you a question.
He's forcing his round thing into a square hole. Both of them are doing that.
Is Joe Exotic inviting Travis's mom to the wedding?
I know you're jumping so far ahead.
I don't care.
Gotten into that episode.
Okay, so let's go.
No, do it. I wanted the first
Let me
reaction.
throw this question out there. You can answer it when we get to it. Is Joe Exotic inviting Travis's mom to the wedding, which, by the way, she could have said no, to the wedding of this next guy 2 months later, however much it was.
2 months, it's enough time.
Is that as bad as 5 years and a day? The day when you could just
announce it. Declare your husband dead.
Right. Is it to the day?
No, the Joe Exotic one's way worse.
Way worse.
Way worse.
Because here's the thing. Joe Exotic is a narcissist. He's a megalomaniac.
What are you talking about?
narcissist. And my point
Anybody
is
who thinks they
everything
can
in
win
his-
presidency, the presidency being that, is not a megalomaniac. He's doing it for America.
And let it be stated, he thought he could win.
Yeah.
Right. But my point is
Got 19%.
everything in his life is about how it serves him and serves the ego.
I mean, how bad did Oklahoma look?
Before this?
Wait,
Go ahead,
let Dan finish.
Sorry.
My point is that it's not about how much he loved Travis. It's about how much he believed Travis loved him. So after he dies, he's saying, I need to go out and have someone in my life to give me that again, because it's all about how it feeds
Fill
me.
the hole.
He didn't actually love that person independently of what they do or what they brought into the world. He loved what they brought into his world. And when that person's gone, he needs someone else to bring that world in too.
So he didn't mourn Travis. He mourned the loss
That
of
he
what
had.
Travis gave him.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, fair. All right, let's
Totally
go back.
fair.
Let's
So
go back
episode
to
4.
Episode 4.
Episode 4. Episode 3 was all about fucking Don. And I'm sorry,
Don
Don's dead,
Lewis.
but we didn't need that much time.
Don
on-
Lewis.
I
There's a
know.
lot about Disco Don Lewis.
Was Don Lewis the name of John Hamm's character in Mad Men? Am I wrong to say that?
It's Don
Yes.
Lewis Draper.
I will say one last thing about that. when your relationship starts at gunpoint, don't be surprised if you end up dead.
That's what I said when we were watching it.
Yeah.
It started with him allowing you to point a gun on
this
him.
guy. You're crying. You've said, no, I don't want to get in the car. Right. This guy circles around another time.
Yeah.
So clearly no means yes to
circles
Don
around
Lewis.
3 times.
Comes back 3 times.
Yeah.
Third time says, hold this gun on me.
By the way,
and let's talk all night.
And he's married when he does all this.
With kids.
With kids. Married with kids. He's married. So
and she says, all right.
She's like, I love it. She glosses
She's
over
Jay
it.
Leno?
She glosses over the fact that he had
Or the fact of what?
She glosses over the fact that she held a gun on him. Like, that was cool. Right. To her, that's just part of the story. I just stomped on his neck twice, and that was it.
Exactly. Okay.
He just had a gun in his car. I just held it on him, and that was it.
So episode 4, we get the trial, the court cases of
just the numerous he brought it on himself.
Well, he posted that picture.
He posted the picture of the rabbit picture.
It's just, this is like the Capone thing. If they don't get you what they should get you for, they're going to get you
for
OJ Simpson. Yeah. I mean, they got him on like stealing back memorabilia.
Side note, you guys saw the ESPN tweet where they announced they were going to be running every day, the People versus OJ Simpson, and OJ retweeted it and just wrote innocent. Let it go.
How many retweets did he get?
Let it go like they shouldn't have let you go.
Get him off of Twitter.
I agree. So we find out that he's posts this picture, then she gets him for this copyright suit, and Joe Exotic doing things like.
Now, if OJ would have said "spoiler alert," innocent, that's funny.
That's funnier. Yeah, still horrible, but
still terrible.
Yes, it is a good joke.
Spoiler alert: glove did not fit.
Right. So we get all. I mean, you're never going to be found. Your chances of being the court siding with you, and you have pictures of you shooting dummies that are like effigies you've made of the person you're at a battle with, putting dildos in their mouth, threatening to kill them. Like, I don't think it's going to go your way, you fucking idiot.
So he's holding a horse stick. He poked the Baskin. Mm-hmm. He definitely poked the Baskin. Mm-hmm. And when you poke the Baskin, she's got deep pockets because her pants are huge.
She does.
And so
I feel like Chico's is going to send a cease and desist to this documentary.
Everything she has is from the Chico's Safari collection.
Oh, she created it.
Her pockets are really deep.
By the way, if Chico's comes out with a Baskin line that has like laurels that you can wear on your head.
That's right.
And like cat print, everything. Get on it, Chico's.
She's going to sue them because she's got deep pockets. So she was like, oh, I'm going to take you down. Like, you can't handle the legal heat that I'm about to bring.
And then he assumed I could just keep moving this ownership and everything around, and that's where he starts roping in his parents.
His mom, and then his mom loses all of her money.
She's doing a GoFundMe for $13K.
And don't feel bad for her.
Well, I feel bad for her because...
I feel bad for how dumb she is.
I feel bad for
how dumb she is, and I feel bad for the man who's holding her hand.
And he's got like old man shakes.
That's right.
So I feel bad for him,
but I don't feel bad for Joe Exotic.
But I feel bad for her because he has convinced her that it's Carol Baskin who is the enemy.
That's right.
It is him. Right. It is he who hath stolen the mother.
I thought he was going to start chanting "Lock her up."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
At one point,
that's the logic train that Joe Exotic is on.
So then that leads us enter stage left, Jeff Lowe.
Well, no. Then there was the whole thing about the thing gets burned down.
Well, yes, that happened.
So let's talk about that. The fact that his studio, which also happened to double as an alligator house,
right,
got burned down.
And he thought Billy Bob Kirkman did it
while he was off at a funeral in Chicago.
Why would Jen Kirkman's dad do that? The answer is
Kirkham.
Yeah,
he would never do that.
He was too busy screwing up his teeth. Right. Cigarettes.
He would never do that, Dan. Why? Because he had
that's
too much
to gain. Footage.
He had too much to gain for him, and we have not seen that footage yet. Now, if that footage comes out tomorrow or a month from now, now we know who did it. But if he were to burn it down and to steal the footage, we know it's the same way with
what happened with that legal thing. He goes to see his lawyer, and he's not carrying the camera.
His lawyer suggested to him
that he burned the whole thing down himself.
Right. Yeah.
Is that what he was saying?
He was dumb enough to like leave that on tape.
Who got the tape? How did they get the tape?
I'm sure that Joe gave them everything. This is all about him being famous.
Yes.
He granted it all, or it legally belongs to Billy Bob Kirkham, and Billy Bob Kirkham was like, use it. I don't give a
He's the
shit.
Billy Bob Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, it
He is Billy. That guy cannot.
So that killed the alligators.
Bert Sweet and Low.
That killed the alligators.
Billy Bob
Or
Sugar.
crocodiles, I mean, right?
Yeah.
The
gators.
no,
It was gators. Because he was wearing a shirt that said gators.
Finley called them crocodilians.
Yeah, they
Finley
were
called them crocodilians.
Right, I'm getting confused because he was wearing a shirt that said gator done, but it was
Finley
crocodiles,
called them crocodilians.
The fact that he was wearing a shirt in its own right was a miracle, let alone it being a gator done.
And the fact that it says Gator done, now you've got Larry the Cable Guy suing
Implicated.
you.
I know.
You know, he's going to sue
Yeah,
them.
that's not officially licensed. Let me ask you this. Do you think anyone on that property knows the difference between a crocodile and an alligator?
No.
No, you're right. It don't matter what we call them because they don't know what they were anyway.
Do you know the difference between a crocodile and a crocodilian?
I don't know it. That he graduated from high school, so
That's
I was
right.
going to say a ninth grade education, but
He done graduated. He loved women.
okay,
from
then we'll get to that too, you son of a bitch. So then after the fire, they build this structure for $8,000.
Who builds it?
Some local guy in town.
Some
Remember, he
local
wanted
dude.
all the access. To the
Why
animals.
did he want it? Because he was putting his hands in and
around.
in around cats, the big cats that people have never done
Weren't supposed
before.
to do.
Right, and he had a parrot.
So he built it for $8,000.
Right. So then,
And he had a snake. He didn't have a parrot.
Let me
He had a
hang on.
snake
Let me
around
get
his
the
hand.
snake out so I can do this interview.
You want an interview with the snake or without the snake? That's fine. We don't need to do it with the snake.
Let me get the snake.
With the snake.
Let me get the
it.
snake.
right. So then enter Jeff Lowe, a white knight with a black bandana,
And a Ferrari and a white Hummer.
and a swinging wife.
Swinging
When they,
wife.
when they put the cubs in the luggage,
Yep. I was like, I hope
you die.
I hope
you
you-
die on camera.
Yep.
I hope I watch you die. I
hope
hope I
Travis-
watch the
I
life
hope a
drain from your
shrapnel
face.
from Travis's bullet.
this
hits
is
you.
also around the time that we saw what they were doing with the baby cubs, and you guys watched.
pulling them under the
Yeah.
fence. It's
Dan,
ridiculous.
I want to see the life drain out of their face. I want to watch them die.
Keep watching. Who knows?
Yeah.
At this
I
point?
want
Maybe we'll
to
be lucky
watch
enough.
Jeff Lowe die.
Maybe
Get a
we'll
whole
be
bunch
lucky
of
enough.
Dons on our hands.
Jeff Lowe, apparently, he whined him, he dined him, he
Better Call Saul stuff. He
brought
ran
him
a
out
game
to
on
Vegas, but that's it. But apparently, Joe
Rented
Exotic
mansion.
didn't know that the mansion was rented.
Right.
He was behind in his Ferrari payments,
Aren't we
and then
all?
he took and then he took.
Is anyone ahead on the Ferrari payments?
By the
Anyone?
way, if you have to have payments
Right.
on your Ferrari,
Exactly.
You will be
should
behind.
not own-
If you have
If you are arguing options over your Ferrari,
if you're going for a 5-year lease instead of a 3-year lease, so
on a
you
Ferrari,
can cover it.
You don't buy a Ferrari.
Don't do
right?
it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you can pay
Can you
all the
imagine if
cash
you're a
at
Ferrari-
once.
If you're a Ferrari salesman or woman, and somebody's like, "What kind of payments you guys offer on this?" Wouldn't you just walk away?
They'd be like, nope,
yeah.
I don't
none.
think so.
We don't know. So
So Jeff Lowe comes in.
Jeff Lowe comes in and he is low. Jeff Lowe immediately enters the shitty person depth chart at like 3 or 2. Mm-hmm. And I still have my feelings about Doc Antle being the Bikram of fat boomer assassins.
He is in the contention. I mean, nobody's topping Joe for me.
Joe is freaking terrible.
Right.
And his sexual orientation aside, and the fact that he dealt with some ostracism in his life.
But see, that to go back to this,
I agree. You can
it's
hate,
all power.
You can't hate a person
you
for
look
who
at-
they are, not what they are.
You look at Carol Baskin, you look at Joe Exotic. These are people who experience major amounts of trauma where they
Terrible
have no
stuff.
control
That's right.
over the family that treated them
That's
horribly
right.
or the
So
men
they're
who
trying to
raped
get-
them.
yeah.
And so having these tigers is look what I can control. Look what I have power over. That's why so many of them have these pictures of them on fucking thrones
That's
because if I can control this, then I'm not a victim.
So, but
I
Dan,
am
who
strong enough.
and who is Joe Exotic without these tigers?
He's a guy with
He's
a
a
bad
bum.
haircut. He's
He's
a
a
bum.
bum.
He's
Right.
a total bum.
You're a
There's
bum.
There's
Yeah.
nothing
It's like
exciting.
in Rocky. You're a freaking bum.
He's a bum.
Take
So,
her to the zoo.
She's a bum.
Take her to the zoo. Remember what I said, Rock? Take her to the zoo.
So he's a bum without this stuff. So he all of a sudden Jeff comes in and Jeff on the phone call with the mediator.
I mean, this is where he white knights it.
He's like, man, when I woke up this morning, I was in
in a free
America.
country.
I was in a free country, and it looks like I still fucking am. All right.
Shut up, Jeff.
So we didn't really hear, but then after that, he transfers all the ownership over to Jeff Lowe. Are we supposed to assume, at least at this point, because it never came back up, that the court cases all ceased. They dropped.
Well,
the
he
case.
paid off a couple. He paid off the lawyers, so that's $35,000
That's right.
he paid off.
Paid off.
And then he paid off what I believe to be some other things.
But she would have to reopen the case against him, and it seems as though she didn't.
She didn't, or maybe she did, but
Maybe
we don't know. We don't know. All I know is Jeff then came in, and Jeff didn't care about it. He just cared about his weird wife who accepts his sexual proclivities outside the marriage, stuffing children's balloons through the meat hole where the tigers are.
Yeah.
And he almost got bit that one time, like, get out of the cage.
I know.
He
That
did get bit
lion.
on the arm.
Yeah, the lion went crazy. He had to like spray a hose in his face to push him back.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
So then was it also in this episode, or was the next one? We can jump into episode 5.
Sure, let's
where
do
the cologne on the boots.
Cologne on the boots.
I
Is that
think-
a thing? Do you think someone did a thing or no?
No.
I think that cat was like,
It's just like, I need to eat, and you
Yeah.
didn't bring me
or
Walmart
maybe
meat.
somebody did, but either way, that's why you shouldn't own them.
Yeah.
Because you see that second cat perk up, like, oh, we're eating his ass?
Oh, yeah.
Dance.
Second cat is like, oh, we're doing this.
Right. It's like babies crying. Once one goes, they're all like, oh,
Dan.
we're supposed to cry
Like, there was
now?
a cat. There was
There are 4 or 5
There
of
was
them
a
were like-
cat on Baskin's property all the way in Florida that was like,
Yeah. They
Are we
felt
eating
it.
him? Are
They
we eating
felt
him?
it. They-
like,
you could see that,
you could
that posture.
see. I was like, okay,
Dan,
here we go.
they are.
And then you saw how much he doesn't love them.
And by the way, that is the way. And everyone's going to die. We're all going to die. We all have to accept that fact. That is the way Joe Exotic has to die, eaten by his own cats. You know what I mean? Or in court with Carol
The
Baskin.
problem is they would definitely put those cats down. I mean, they might have to anyway. I don't
I
even
mean,
know.
it's one of those things where it's like I don't know how.
The crazy thing is the Westboro Baptist Church would then protest and say, you got eaten by your cats because you're gay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you're right.
everyone
You brought this
would,
onto yourself.
Everyone would get it
See,
twisted.
I hate Carol. She's in my hate list. No
I don't
problem
like
at all.
Carol either.
But if you told me that she is not doing any more like pay to pet or like breeding or everything, and all she does, and the reason she only has 12 is because they're rescues. She's not taking
She's going
on
to
more than
let
she
them
needs
kind
to.
of die there.
You could prove that to me. I'd be like, that is something I don't hate
You're
about
the
her.
least of the people that I hate. Now, you did kill your husband, but I got to be honest with you. If I hung out with Don Lewis for a while, I probably want to kill him too.
Probably smother him in sardine oil and feed him to the cats.
By the way, how great was
She
that
knew
admission?
exactly what
She's
it would
like, I
take.
mean, if you want to do it, you'd put a little sardine oil under the bottom parts of their jeans and maybe a little bit in their collar and then a little bit around the belt line and then a little bit in the back.
Right.
If one wanted to do it.
And you make sure you lay them face down,
and you make sure that person tells people they're going to Costa Rica. But I digress.
you make a
And then you fudge the
make a
plane
small-
records and then you drive the van to the airport and then you leave his keys.
and you make a small incision on his wrist,
And then 5 years later, you declare.
But cologne, their cologne's silly.
I mean, that's.
Cologne's ridiculous.
I mean, if you wanted
If Carol Baskin wanted to kill someone, if I
you-
wanted to kill someone, I mean, I wouldn't put like cologne on the boots. That's ridiculous.
a little sardine oil in the hair, and
Yeah.
then you make a small incision in the wrist, and you let the blood
She
out so
knew.
people can smell it.
And you just let it trickle for a
someone's
little
food.
while, and then you
yes,
use
you
these
do a
type-
feeding close to it so that they're hungry and they
And
already
you
have
put
the taste for
other
it.
meat that has other blood in there, and you make sure that blood commingles. So
And
you
you
can't
do it
DNA.
at 2 in the morning so no one can hear it, and you can go cry in your car a little bit because you're not a murderer, but at the same time, you say to
this guy
yourself,
had to go, and he was already cheating on his wife with other people, and then but cologne on the boots. I mean, come on,
that
that's-
doesn't
that's
make
not,
sense.
That'd be ridiculous.
So episode 5 really kind of focuses on a few things, I guess, because the main one I'm thinking of is obviously Joe
Travis.
Exotic's relationships
With Travis.
Travis and Finley.
Finley.
both saying like, I'm not gay.
Finley got the secretary pregnant.
Yeah, and how they use.
I just
yeah,
like
at
that he
least
still has it-
maybe bi.
I just like that they still call her a secretary. She's not an administrative assistant.
Dan, there's nothing bi about these guys.
No, these guys
these
are
guys are 100% straight, and they are doing what they have to do to get their drugs.
What will you do to get meth? That's essentially
He's
what this
preying
thing
on
is.
their addictions.
They're
in order to
male
use them for what
prostitutes.
he
Will
wants.
you have sex with a man to get
Get your
high?
meth. Yes, I will.
Right.
And
Now,
and to play with tigers, all right,
In the
I
net-
can shut it off for an hour.
in the Netflix documentary Criminal Minds, we watched a guy's chest blow up. I didn't watch it, but people did.
Yeah.
At least in this, I can handle watching the reaction of, is it Earl? Joshua Earl?
The guy who was
the campaign
who
manager.
is by far my favorite person.
He's like the Joe
next to
Pera
Saf.
of this show.
Saf and him need to together
Get
have
together.
a relationship.
Be friends.
Yeah.
No,
At
I
least.
want them to have a relationship. I want and
Maybe.
That's
Who
right.
knows which way any of them go?
Well,
but
if she identifies as a man and he's gay,
maybe she's a gay man.
We don't know.
Is he gay? Did he say he's
No,
gay?
he's not. I don't think he is.
I don't know. He gave Joe Exotic a kiss on the shoulder.
real question is how bad does he want drugs?
That's right.
That is the question.
That's the real question.
Look, he left the crazy world of Walmart.
Let me say this. You know,
Asexual, pansexual, gay, straight, bi, just want drugs. What are you?
you know that this is a terrible crop of human beings when the best person is the guy who sells ammo at a Walmart.
And you guys started worrying about him because you said his teeth were starting to look bad. And
It is where his teeth looking bad?
I saw it. Look, this is it. Like you look at their teeth and
Your
you're
teeth
like,
should not
how
look like-
involved in this operation are you? You got 4 teeth? All right, you're
really
in deep.
involved.
You're
You're
in
in
deep.
Yeah. And so where did we end off in this episode?
So Travis
passes
went
away.
down.
He's got a
Travis
new
shot
boyfriend.
himself, and
he
then
runs for governor. He
runs for
loses
governor.
the governorship.
but he got
offers to jump
19%.
19% of the vote, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. What are you doing? And the people who are like, I don't know. He says what he wants. He just does it in a way that he. I'm like, you
So does your
deserve to get
teenager.
eaten by a tiger. Yeah.
We said this on our podcast. The virus is coming. We know it's horrible. People are going to die.
Let's pick the people.
Let's
who
choose
get to
the
die.
people who have to go.
I know.
Everyone who was interviewed in this thing and said Joe Exotic says what he says and he's a good guy for it. You have to go.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, you're gone.
You punched your ticket.
So you made your choice. That's your choice.
Life's been great for you, and you don't want to live in a world where Joe Exotic isn't elected. So you're
Get
gone.
out.
You're out of here.
Make room for the rest of us who
You
actually
don't want
think.
you don't want someone who actually has experience in there who's going to make your life a drag. Check
Ooh,
out.
Boo.
Check out.
I'll ask you guys this. We'll wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Any predictions or anything going forward? Do you see this heading any way? We keep hearing.
How about the
Joe's
moment?
calls
How about the
from
moment where
prison.
Jeff Lowe is like, we were going to get a party bus and take people to and from the casinos and put the cats on that and drive them around and make some money that way.
Thought that would be a
Was
good
this
idea.
Boy, was that a stupid. Boy, were we wrong.
Boy, was that a mistake.
Boy, was that a mistake.
So we ended this episode though with the federal agents calling Jeff Lowe a lot. It looks like the walls are closing in. We're
on Joe Exotic.
on Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
I will say my big takeaway is I've watched all these episodes, and as we go forward, falling headfirst towards
Because we're going to do it on Saturday. We're going to watch the final 2, and then our wrap up of the whole series
Will be our episode.
our episode of Dumb People Town next Tuesday.
right. So, my thing is, people keep saying, "Oh, I can't wait till they make a movie out of this." Dak Shepard, Jared Leto, people
Yeah,
saying they
yeah.
want to play it. This is my problem with them making
Chris
a
Cooper.
movie out of it.
Yeah.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
In order to make this a movie out of this, they would have to use animal actors.
That's right.
And then they would use all of Doc's lions and tigers to make this movie. Thereby, the movie that is an outcry about how bad this is would be
Propagating the
propagating
industry.
more
That's
of
right.
it happening in order to make the
this
fucking
a
movie.
So here's the thing.
Unless you CGI'd it.
And
Or
no.
animate it.
No,
And
here's
CGI.
Yeah.
CGI, you
Same
could do
thing.
it.
Here's my problem
You'd
with
have
it.
to.
I know, but here's the problem with the movie. The documentary is so well seen and so well documented by so many people that a narrative movie will just be rehashing the moments that we've already seen here.
But this is what we had with OJ.
Kind of,
People
but
versus OJ Simpson and the
Yeah, but that was-
they came
that
in
was-
the opposite order.
and
First
that
off.
was made for TV. And what I'm saying is, maybe it's the story of his early life or something like that. Like
right. But you're saying you can't retell this.
you can't retell this
You can't
story.
retell this story.
You're going to have to, because first of all, it's only going to be a 2-hour movie. So you're going to have to cut out all kinds of stuff. So people who know every detail now, because they've seen all this stuff, be like, where's the guy when he shot himself? Where's this scene? Where's that scene?
Yeah.
Where's this?
So I think it's also hard because you're gonna constantly,
It's going to get made. Let me just say that
you're
it's going to get made.
constantly ask yourself, who am I rooting for? And right now,
I'm rooting for no one.
right now, the three of us who look so hard to root for someone. This is who we are in this world.
Right.
We try to root
I'm
for
rooting
you.
for
Try to root for
Saf
someone.
to
I'm
get
rooting for
out and
Saf
get
to
a
get
better
out.
life.
Exactly.
But
Get out
Saf
with-
seems under the radar, under the beam, under the
Yeah, I mean, she's complicit.
She
Or
is.
I'm sorry.
He's complicit. I'm
He
like-
is complicit, and he's just as bad as everybody else with his complicity.
get out with the 1.5 arms you've got, Saf.
Yeah.
But my point is that we're looking so hard for someone to root for, and we're having a hard time finding that person. So how do you make a movie where everyone is someone that you can't stand?
I mean, the only one
It's called Knives Out.
Knives Out.
I guess so, but
what if it's
Knives
the
Out
one?
was like-
what if
It's
it's the girl
entertaining,
whose
but I'm
dad?
saying you don't like any of
You
them.
don't, but like
You're entertained by them.
sure, but
And I like Knives Out as a story. I wasn't a huge fan of the movie itself, but that's what I walked away from being like, I didn't care about any of those people.
maybe, but I don't know.
I don't know. Do you like I know, again, not a movie, but It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, you
But
just think
Knives Out was fun. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That's true. That's a great point.
It's Always
this
Sunny.
Is not going to be
this
fun.
Is not
gonna be fun.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is fun because they make themselves lose all
Right.
the time. So it's like
so does Joe.
true, but like
Yeah, but
It's
I
just
mean,
not funny.
So
this isn't funny.
This is
That's
not-
a big difference.
he thinks it's funny.
He thinks it's funny. He thinks it's good. Like everyone's
He's
like,
hilarious.
Who's going to play him? What about Danny McBride? It's not going to be a comedy. Danny McBride would be an unbelievable
If you want
character
to see
doing that.
something with outrageous people doing outrageous things, just watch Righteous Gemstones on HBO. It's
By the way,
perfect and it is hilarious
Walton-
and it is fucking batshit
Walton
crazy.
Goggins would be fantastic
Of
as this
course.
guy. Christian Bale.
We
would
skipped over
probably-
the fact. Remember when one of these 2 episodes where Joe Exotic was just shooting at people?
Yeah.
His mother-in-law,
Oh, yeah.
Travis,
Shot behind him,
Travis's
shot
mom.
up in the trees.
Are we going to skip over Joe Exotic's performance at the funeral?
Joe Exotic.
Yeah,
at
way
the
to
funeral.
way to make this kid's funeral not about you, you dummy.
Hey, you know what people love to hear at a funeral? You
Country
talking about
music.
country music is already.
you know
a
what I
slap
thought
in
you were
the
going to
face.
say? Because
You talking about his balls.
Oh, of course. I thought you were going to say this goes too. This works. You know what people love to hear at a funeral? Original music.
This is one off my new album. That's the worst word you could hear from
I know.
anyone who is eulogizing.
And so you're
someone else.
dressed like the priest, and you're
From
your
your Kitty
video.
Kitty video.
Your kitty video.
All right, we've gone way too long in this episode. If you guys got anything else to say, throw it in. Otherwise, we'll wrap this up. We'll save it.
Okay,
for
save
when we
it.
wrap up the whole
The
thing.
whole thing. We
next
got
Tuesday.
Whole kid and caboodle, and
watch
watch
live with us on Saturday.
Saturday.
It's probably going to happen somewhere in the
Right.
hours between like maybe
2 and 4 probably.
yeah, between 2 and 4 on Saturday. We'll be doing
Wait,
that
for us here? Oh, for watching it.
for the watch,
Watching it.
the live
Okay.
watch
Yeah.
party.
Yeah.
And then at 5 p.m. we're doing a Dumb People Town that's going to be, and it's all on the pages and everything.
Yeah, check out the
part
any
of a
Dumb People Town
benefit
social
as a
media.
benefit to raise money for comedians, stand-up comedians, friends of ours, including
Laugh
and
Aid
people
2020.
including us who have lost a lot of money because of road gigs that have been canceled, and there's really no safety net. And some great comedians are going to be doing their part to help raise some money for that. So be a part of that, and we'll be doing that probably sometime around 5 o'clock. There's all the
Pacific
information.
time, yeah.
Pacific time.
Yeah.
All the information on our page. But thank you to all you who participated. Thanks for all you who watched with us. We love doing it with you. And oh shit, we gotta get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, calm you down. It's Dumb People Town.
Starburns Audio, a podcast network.